have you noticed how much sweeter, or I should say, how much warmer coffee tastes on a cold morning? I have. You know, I really like drinking coffee on a cold morning because, quite frankly, though they tell us drinking coffee on a hot morning will help you to cool down, I don't know, but drinking coffee on a cold morning will help you warm up. Makes perfect sense to me. But you know, that's kind of what grace is like for me. Because you see, there's some people that, you know, they really don't like grace as much as maybe I do. You know, because me, personally, I'm kind of a big screw up. So, you know, I kind of like this idea of being forgiven for my sins, you know. Kind of like because I tend to do them a lot. And you know what? I kind of need forgiveness because I know who I am. You know, I'm a sinner saved by grace, and you know, except for the grace of God, there go I. But guess what? 9 times out of 10, there go I. Right after sin. Yeah. You know, boy, it's good stuff. At least until you gotta pay for it, and then guess what? That sucks. But you know, I'm one of those kind of people that, yeah, I need grace in my life. I need God's mercy. Maybe you don't. Maybe you got it all together. Cool. Go for it. But for me, I appreciate what God has done in my life. I thank God daily that He's allowed me one more day to try to get it together, because, you know, it kind of seems like it's falling apart most of the time. And I don't know about you, but my life has always been kind of falling apart most of the time. Because when it's falling apart, I'm falling on grace. When I'm falling on grace, I seem to find my place safe. But maybe you're different. Maybe you're one of those kind of righteous people that, you know, you kind of get a chance to be, you know, holy and, you know, stand up kind of person, you know, that everything seems to go right for you. Hey, I'm going to stand back because no offense to you, but you know, I've seen righteous people. They tend to fall pretty hard. And when they fall hard, they fall on their, well, you know, flat on their keister. Oh, I mean their face. Yep, seen it. Been there, done that. So I don't know about you, but, you know, for me, whoa, baby. Man, I love grace. I'm like, oh God, please, please, please don't hit me. Mercy, Lord, mercy. You know, because I know who I am. I know that I'm a screw up just waiting to happen. Sin where? I'll dive in. Woohoo! Surfing, everybody surfing. I'm hanging 10 until I'm hanging my nose, you know, over the end of the surfboard, and bam, down I go. Ew, wipe out. Whoa. But you know, that's kind of why I'm one of those kind of Christians that really, 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 really hang on to grace. Because despite His grace, He saved me. And quite frankly, He's still figuring out what to do with me. Maybe you're like that too. Now, just like it's, you know, kind of cold out, and, you know, coffee, oh, on a cold morning, tastes so much better when you drink it. Yeah, on a cold morning. Grace works so much better for those who really appreciate it because they need it. Jesus said it this way. Jesus was kind of a funny guy, you know. He always had these kind of wild statements, you know, that kind of like blew people's minds. They went, oh my God, are you serious? Surely you can't be serious. And Jesus said, yes, I'm serious. And I'm not surely. Oh, well, anyways. But God came along and He said, look, to whom much is forgiven, he loveth much. To whom little is forgiven, loveth little. Because they really don't care that much. So you see, it's kind of like when you've been forgiven a lot, you love a lot. Me? Woo! You? Hey, we got it, baby. That's right. See, if you're a big screw up, and you know it, if you really messed up, you know, and you kind of show it, Ew. Think I need to take a bath. But if you're one of those kind of people, then you love the Lord a lot because you've been forgiven a lot. Those people that really haven't kind of like, really messed up much, they don't love much. Oh, they love the best they can, because they're kind of like a little teacup, It's like when they had the little teacup. Oh, the little bitty teacup. It's so cute. They put the little tea in the teacup, they have the little plate, they go, ooh. Ah, I'm forgiven. Woohoo! But when you're a big gallon drinker, and it's like, hey man, I've been doing 6-packs, and all of a sudden I'm forgiven. Where do I go? Everybody else is righteous. No, you see, the guy that's been drinking 6-pack, he's forgiven much. The teacup is forgiven little, but the teacup can only hold little because it's a little teacup. And the other guy's, he's a big 6-pack. Yeah, man, I'm forgiven a lot because I got to rest my cup right up here on top of my belly because I'm kind of fat. Well, that's what God said. Don't ask me why. I guess it's because the person that's kind of like a big 6-pack drinker, he kind of knows that he's a mess up. He kind of gets the picture that he's really not worthy of what God has done. He figures out pretty fast that, what, I'm not perfect. And he kind of gets the handle on it's God's grace that saves him. Sometimes little teacup people, they kind of like, ooh, I don't want to have anything to do with those people. Ooh, they don't drink tea, so I don't like them. You're not for me. Well, God had a 6-pack at one time, He kind of went to a party, and down there at the marriage supper, he indulged. Oh, I know, there's some Christians that say, oh no, Jesus just turned the water into wine and ignored it. I got news for you. He's Jewish. He drank wine. Oh boy, did he. Now, did he get drunk? Of course not. But he drank wine. That's obvious. Yeah, hey, I'm come along to the wedding just so I could stand back and watch what everybody else is doing and point fingers at him. No, he, quite frankly, had a drink. Or two. And that's what Jesus is. Jesus is our salvation. He's not far removed from what we have had to endure. And we know how bad we screwed up because, quite frankly, we know when we get in among a bunch of righteous people that we don't feel so good. It's like, I'm not like you. I'm just kind of like, here by the mercy of God and by the grace of God. I barely squeezed in by the skin of my teeth. Ooh, skin on my teeth? Sounds disgusting. But by the clawed fingernails that I just clung to the robe of his righteousness, God saved me. And that's the way that you can tell sometimes who loveth much, because they've been forgiven much. And you can tell who loveth little, because they've been forgiven little. Now, it doesn't mean either one's any better or worse. It just means that maybe you got a little more depth to what you've gone through than somebody else who hasn't gone through what you've gone through. Maybe. And so, don't ever be intimidated away from God because you think you're such a screw-up. Welcome to the club. You see sin? Let's dive in. That used to be the motto, It's like, hey, see a pool? This is me. See sin? Oops, missed. Ha! Imagine that. This is me. This is sin. See the pool? Dive in. See sin? Dive in. And then after a while you realize, oh, you take a high dive and the water's not there. Ah, headache. Ooh, smarts, doesn't it? Well, after a while you kind of realize that what you were diving in had no chlorine, and it was kind of like scummy water, and you just kept diving in until one day you bounced out and you went, and my head hurts from diving in. I think I'm going to quit diving in sin, and I'm going to kind of indulge in something else, So you kind of decided that rather than swimming in the old swimming hole, you decided to go jump in the pool of his grace and mercy. That sea of forgetfulness, that sea of righteousness. Ooh. You decide to go to the ocean. The ocean of His grace. Wow, cool. And that's what God wants to do with you. He wants you to realize and recognize that no matter who you are, whether you put your hats on the left, or the right, or the back, or the front, whether you're coming or going, whether you're a lefty or a righty, guess what? God's got you covered under His grace. Hey, what better place to be than to, on a cool morning, kicking back, relaxing and going, He's got it. Because, you know, He does have the whole world in His hands. So don't you think that His plans might be a little bit better for you than your own? Let's just stick with enjoying as much as we do, if we're a screw-up, His grace, than employing, as much as some do, the righteousness standards that some people will tell you what to do, when to do it, and how to do it. Because, after all, for them, it's tea time. Frankly, I like my grace.